when I listen to the album, it sounds a bit different than the previous Annihilator albums. Any particular reason for the changes? Have you got new influences? Is this a part of growing up? Do you want to sound modern, or is this just a natural progression?
I guess everything you said, probably. It's also, Annihilator albums have sort of changed in one way or another. Every single album's been different in a way, because of, singer changes and musical directions and, like you were saying, just getting, hopefully progressing and learning as a songwriter. But, the new album seems to be getting a lot of reaction from people that thinking that we're off in a little bit different direction or something. And I think that's because there's about 5 songs that I used the drum computer on. And these songs were originally just demos that I'd written for myself, songs I was going to record again with a real drummer for this new album. But I liked the way the drum computer sounded, so I just kept them the way they were. And I put most of those songs at the beginning of the new CD, so I think it shocks a lot of people because they hear some sort of new industrial sort of sounds and more mechanical, robotic sounds, and they think that, this must be the new direction. But there's really a good 6 songs on the CD that are your typical sort of Annihilator style and sound and songwriting. It's just that I put the different experimental ones at the beginning.
Yeah, that was actually one of my questions. You put all the new kind of songs in the beginning. Isn't that a bit dangerous if old Annihilator fans listen to the album and they may listen to the first songs and think, this is not old Annihilator, which I know?
Definitely. I mean, the thing that's really interesting, it used to be frustrating for me, but in the last few years it's really neat. There's Annihilator fans that like Annihilator for the first sort of couple albums, the Alice in Hell sort of classic thrash lineup that we had then. And then there's fans that like the melodic Annihilator, like Heal the Kill and Set the World on Fire albums. And then there's people that like both of it. And then there's people that don't like any of it. So
sure.
It's like, I think that's the reason why I'm still around. One of the reasons is because the fans, a lot of people said, well, look at all the changes and the experiments and the different lineup changes and the singer changes. And I think in different styles of songwriting and sound and production, I think that's the reason we're still here, and this is our 8th CD now, and we're still doing very well in many countries, is because the fans expect some kind of a change from me, because I've said for many years in interviews that I'd get kind of bored if I was writing the same style over and over again.
Uh-huh.
And that's why I put the different songs at the beginning, is just to let our hardcore fans know that we're not letting them down. We're still trying different things and trying to keep it a little interesting. I think the last Annihilator album, Refresh the Demon, the album was okay, but I think I got a little bit stuck in the creativity department. I don't think, I wrote that album very quickly all at one time, and it wasn't one of the best albums I wrote. It seemed like I was stuck. I went back to the past to get some old riffs and sort of went to my thrash roots a little bit, but I didn't really move forward on that album. I think the new one I've definitely taken a bit different direction and added some life to it, and I'm really lucky so far that all the press and the Japanese fans have liked it too, because like you said, it is dangerous when you try different things in this business.
Sure. As you mentioned, you programmed a lot of drums on this album, so I understand that was just a coincidence that you didn't bring in a real drummer. I thought maybe this was to have the total control of the album, that you did everything yourself.
No, it was actually Randy Black was our drummer for many years, and I think he still is. He was away out touring with another band at the time, and I just, while I was doing the album, I said, I could hire a drummer and pay him money and come in and spend the time and take a couple of days or maybe a week and rehearse the songs. And when you're looking at it, it costs money and it takes time. And I said, well, what the heck? I have my own studio. I might as well just do it myself. So I ended up just doing it myself.
This new direction, do you think you will go towards the more industrial music in the future, or do you just do what you feel right for each album?
Yeah, I think what you said at the end there, I think it's there was a couple of people that said to me, "Oh, is Jeff trying to get on the, jump on the industrial wagon and the bandwagon or whatever it's called when you follow the trends?" And I'll be the first to admit, no, I'm not going to purposely try and follow that trend, because, I mean, there's guys like Trent Reznor from 9 Inch Nails and so many of these bands that have done that industrial style Ministry and all that stuff many, many, many years ago. If I was trying to copy that style or jump on that bandwagon, I'm about 5 years too late at least. I'm way too late. This is just something that those 5 songs sound a little bit industrial influenced because of the drum computer. So that really makes it sound more modern, and also because I do have a little bit of industrial influence in me. I produced a few bands lately that are in that kind of style, and my wife listens to a lot of 9 Inch Nails and Marilyn Manson and White Zombie and stuff like that. So I think that influences my writing a little bit as well.
Yeah, you're using a lot of other samples on the album. Do you think this makes the music feel a bit sterile in a way?
Well, I think it depends on the song. There's some songs where it's just it's sort of typical Annihilator guitar riff song. I think all of the songs are guitar riff songs again, but that's why the whole album isn't the samples and sounds and effects. It's really only the 4 or 5 songs, and these sounds just sort of suited the songs. There's 2 songs on there I know that we're not going to be able to play live because you need to bring the sequencer and the sampling machines and all that stuff. We just won't play those 2 songs live. But the other 3 that are sort of industrial sounding, that can be done with a live band. No problem, but it's just like I said. I wrote them as demos, and I was going to re-record them with a real drummer, but I ended up getting what I thought were some kind of neat sounds, and I just liked it, and I thought that putting a real drummer to it would take away from it all of a sudden.
When you make songs, did you sit in your own studio and just create them, or do you write them and then go to the studio without experimenting a lot before you record?
No. I basically, what I do is I walk in, I turn my system on, and I turn my drum machine on, and usually what I do is, the first 99% of the time I write a song, I just put a beat on my drum computer, just a drum beat that I have in my head, and then I jam along with the guitar to the drum beat until I get a good riff. And if I don't get a good riff within maybe 20 minutes, then I do a completely different new beat. And then at the end of the day, I've got, 20 or 30 riffs with 20 or 30 different drum beats, and then what I do is I try and see if any of those 2 will go together, because all you have to do is, in my mind, is have 2 good riffs and put them together, and then you've got yourself a verse or a chorus, or a verse and a pre-chorus, and then that's the way I start off with the song. Once I get a good change, like a good verse and then a good chorus, then the song's almost finished.
Sure. Do you write all the lyrics after you've written the songs, or do you make separate lyrics before you have a song?
Yeah, the last 3 albums, I think I've just written them after the music was done, and I finish all the music, and I sit down at my little desk and computer and take my little tiny ghetto blaster and throw a cassette tape in, because I rewind the tape and stop it so many times I don't want to wreck my good tape recorder. But I just keep rewinding the song and until I get an idea of what it could be about, and then I just go for it and write it then.